The Galaxy S10, what a phone that was. Takes me right back to university. I was still rocking my LG G6, which I loved by the way, but when my buddy pulled out his brand new S10, I couldn't help it. Every little thing I'd be comparing. Cameras, screen, build, that ultra-wide lens. I mean, it felt like the S10 was from the future and I was still stuck in the past. But you know what? It earned the envy. Triple cameras that actually felt like 3 useful lenses, not just padding. A dynamic AMOLED display that just melted into the edges. No harsh bezels, just pure screen. And the build, even now 6 years later, that thing still looks expensive. So I got curious to see what's it actually like to daily drive this thing in 2025. Is the camera completely falling apart next to newer flagships? Is the performance crawling? Is the battery completely toast? Or is it the end of software support that turned out to be the last nail in the coffin? So I pushed it, threw custom ROMs at it like a mad scientist, even slapped a port from the Galaxy S25 Ultra on it just to see if it could take the heat. And you know what? It held up surprisingly well. No flagship level smooth obviously, let's not kid ourselves, but it was nowhere near unusable. It actually held its own. And yeah, Android Well might not have the AI tricks or those hyper modern bells and whistles, but paired with One UI 4.1, it still tried, still gave me room to tinker. Good Lock was still around doing its thing, giving that illusion of freedom Samsung fans love to brag about. I could still go wild with Key Cafe, dress my keyboard up like it was headed to rave. Little touches, but it mattered. And something I really forgot how much I appreciated until I picked it up again, it's just comfortable. Actually nice to hold. It's only 157 grams, which is practically featherweight compared to the bricks we carry now. The rounded edges make it easy to grip without doing finger yoga. And the whole thing just looks elegant. Not flashy, just clean, balanced. That kind of manageable beauty you don't see anymore. Now, yeah, the camera module has definitely aged in the looks department. It's that older horizontal slab, not super minimal, but still, with the glass and metal sandwich it's sitting in, it doesn't look off. It came with either the Snapdragon 855 or the Exynos 9 820 depending on the region, and mine's running Exynos chipset. I fired up PUBG just to see what it could handle, and honestly, it was smooth, good frame rates, good responsiveness. But yeah, after a long session, especially in the summer heat, the thermal limit starts showing. You feel the warmth creeping in, and the battery, unless it's been replaced, starts dipping fast. I wouldn't recommend playing Genshin Impact on it unless you're trying to cook eggs on the back. Still, for everyday stuff, this phone is no slouch. And the display, even now, it just hits. It's a Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED panel, HDR10 Plus support. And yeah, it's only 60Hz, but it looks fantastic. Colors pop in that classic Samsung way. Deep blacks, vivid highlights, great viewing angles. Watching videos on it, still a treat. You get that cinematic richness, even if the screen can feel a bit dim in really harsh sunlight. But in normal daylight, it's totally fine. Samsung's older animation do kind of drag it down. That One UI 4.1 experience isn't as fluid as what we are used to now. It feels sticky, a little janky at times, but the processor tries to hold things together. Today, if you're coming from a years old mid-ranger, you'd find this okayish. But for a trained eye, there is noticeable choppiness. And the punch hole, right side, back then it was kind of bold, kind of weird. Now it's just standard. And we wouldn't be surprised if Apple ends up copying it eventually and calls it some kind of new era of immersive design. Classic. Screen's protected by Gorilla Glass 6, but years of use do leave a mark. Mine's got scratches and I have noticed some light image retention, little ghosting. It's quite visible in the light mode. When it comes to just handling the usual daily stuff, this phone doesn't even flinch. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, firing off DMs, flipping between apps, snapping a quick shot for a story, it all feels fine. You're not sitting there thinking, this thing feels ancient. So yeah, it still moves like it belongs. Sure, Samsung's UI has gone through a ton of changes in the last 6 years, and most of those were honestly for the better. But the DNA, you can still feel it in the S10. The roots are all there. The camera app, packed, as expected. Samsung loves throwing the kitchen sink at you, and this one's no exception. Portrait video with those soft bokeh effects, best shot, slow motion, super slow motion, full manual mode if you are into dialing everything by yourself. It's got all the tricks. And the video capability? Main camera shoots 4K at 60 FPS, and all 3 lenses can do 4K at 30. Even the front camera, just 10 megapixels, but it can shoot 4K 60 FPS too, which is wild considering some new flagships still skip that. And I don't usually praise selfie cams, but this one, it handles skin tones nicely, doesn't distort my face, and the exposure is usually on point. But how despite all the premium feel, it's logged on Android 12, One UI 4.1. For most people, that's not even a problem. You're not gonna notice it unless something doesn't work. Most apps still run fine, nothing throws up a compatibility error. Everything feels normal until, well, it doesn't. But here is where it gets interesting. When I flashed the One UI port from the Galaxy S25 Ultra, it ran just fine. Those so-called AI features that Samsung claims are exclusive to newer phones, they worked. Same with Evolution X, an AOSP ROM. It gave the S10 a whole new vibe. It was clean, fast, and it felt fresh. That kind of proved to me that the hardware is still more than capable. It's not power that's the limit, it's policy. Now, yeah, most people aren't out here flashing custom ROMs on their daily phone. And I'm not saying custom ROMs are some perfect fix either. The whole security side of that world is murky. These builds aren't exactly audited like official firmware. It's more for people like us who enjoy tinkering, who have got a secondary device to mess around with. But still, there's this lingering feeling, when your phone stops getting updates. It's not just about missing features. It's like no one's watching the door anymore. No one's patching the holes. And I get it, every good thing eventually reaches the end of the line. It's just tough when the phone still runs well, still looks good, still does the job, but the updates stop and suddenly it feels like you're using something invisible to the company that made it. That stings a bit. That said, the last official update it did get, it's stable. All the core Samsung features are still intact, still working the way you'd expect. So it's not like it's falling apart, it's just aging in silence. Around back, it's got 16 megapixels ultra wide lens, 12mm, crazy wide. In videos, it tries to give you that full stretch perspective without butchering the frame. Then there's the main sensor, the 12 megapixels at 26mm, your standard 1x. But what makes it special is the variable aperture, f1.5 to 2.4. You can feel the shift in low light. I have pulled some genuinely nice shots through this lens. Sharp, smooth, and yeah, that classic Samsung processing is still baked in. Overall, the pictures and colors still looks good for a 6-year-old device. It tries hard to turn a pitch black scene into a visible clean scene. Then there's the 12 megapixels telephoto at 52mm. You get 2x optical zoom, and digitally it can push up to 10x. But back then there wasn't much AI helping out, so the digital zoom is more like meh than mind-blowing. Stabilization is good, like decent for handheld shots. Now the fingerprint sensor, underrated legend. Still one of the best in-screen readers I've used. Fast, reliable, rarely missed. Stereo speakers? Meh. They are there. They try. But mine definitely lost some punch over time. The balance is off, like 30-70 split. And it's missing that low-end kick. Bass is just kinda absent. But hey, it's got a 3.5mm headphone jack. Bixby key? Still there. Still mostly useless. Let's pretend it doesn't exist. Battery is the weak link now. 3400 mAh sounded good back then, but with the original cell still inside, I'm lucky to get 3 to 4 hours, maybe less if I push it. It charges at 15 watts wired or wireless, not fast by today's standards. It also supports reverse wireless charging at 4.5 watts. Technically, the videos and photos have that classic Samsung look, super vivid, slightly inconsistent colors, sometimes aggressive HDR, but it still looks like Samsung. And honestly, for a 6-year-old phone, those photos still hold up. And the same goes for the videos, they are nice. You can switch lenses at 4K 30fps, and the video quality is not bad at all. That's something impressive. So the photos and videos from this phone, they are not winning any shootouts with today's flagships, but they don't have to. They tell the story just fine. That's it guys, you are watching Honestic. My name is Mubashir Hamid, and I'll see you in the next video.